Hey, I'm Alanah. I'm a and so are all my friends. Today I have on
Charm, and she is the most iconic dancer on TikTok. Charm, thank you for being on.
Thank you so much for having me and that really sweet intro. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm super excited to have you because this is something a little bit different than who I've interviewed in the past. A lot of the times, I feel like you're like a different sector of the industry, even though you do both online and like in person stuff. So I feel like it's something new to kind of share with my audience and with others that maybe want to get into more stuff that's like in the club and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I talk to, I mean, some of them might already be dancing, but others or most people I think are doing it online and they have such an interest. When I first started, I wanted to be a dancer first.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah, well, I guess not first. I'll tell you in a second. But yeah, I have a whole story. We'll go into it. But why don't we
Cool.
start with who you are and like what you do? Let's just start with like what type of content you do or what kind of work you do and all of that.
Yeah, so I started as a dancer. That was my main thing. And I started breaking into TikTok right soon after. I didn't even have OF or anything up until this point. And started getting some traction on TikTok. Decided, okay, let me monetize that. So that's one of my jobs. And then I'm also over on OnlyFans, and I think I'm also on Fansly still right now. I've kind of narrowed down my platforms.
Yeah.
And recently I've started over on YouTube. So I would just say umbrella. I'm just a content creator. I'm a stripper. I also like to be kind of like an advocate for dancers and our talking about our rights and just, things that dancers need to know regarding taxes and all that fun stuff that is just not really talked about in this industry.
Yeah, I think the way you share this job, especially on TikTok, from the videos I watch, is that it can be a normal job and that you can have a normal life and that there's still other things that you have to take care of, like taxes and things like that. And I love how you present yourself. Surprise! We have our first sponsor of the podcast. I want to introduce to you Supercreator. If you haven't heard about it, I have talked about it a couple times on my TikTok, and it is genuinely something that's been helping me manage my OnlyFans. If you do not have management, which I do not recommend if you are a small creator, like you should be taking home all of your profits, you can definitely manage it yourself. Management can take advantage of small creators because they don't know, they overpromise and under deliver. So, and even if you are a bigger creator, it has been a way to manage my OnlyFans, to manage my account without having to hire out people. It basically goes through all of your messages and pulls data from it. So you can go to your messages with a fan, look on the side and see different highlighted key points that you guys have talked about. So it'll say what types of videos that they like, how long they like their videos, what do they typically spend with you? So you have all that data in real time when you are communicating with them. When you open up your vault in a conversation with a fan, you can actually see what you've already spent, what you've already sent them, and how much for, because that's a big thing is you might know you've already sent a video to them, but you might forget, how much did I send this video to them? I can't remember. You have to scroll back in your messages. You have to take notes on them. And what I normally used to do is put green markers like, okay, this person spends a lot, but what does a lot even mean? Maybe this person spends a lot compared to that person, but not to this person. You might have heard me talk about that, how I put different markers and basically different emojis next to different people's names, and I put them in different lists to categorize them. Now, this platform basically does it all for you. It will tell you how much you should be pricing your content for. So it'll say, price is $3 more than you just did because they will spend that amount. So it will price everything out for you, and it does so much more. So let's get back to the podcast episode. But just a reminder, all the links on Supercreator will be down below, and I'll pop in again to give them another little thank you and also remind you to go and check it out because it is a great way to manage your OnlyFans account for a fraction of the cost that it would with management. I promise you, you don't need management, you need Supercreator. What brought you to this job originally? Because you said you were a dancer before like any of the other stuff.
I started dancing when I was either late 18 or early 19, and it was literally just out of like, okay, I'm in college, I'm in a new city, I moved out of my hometown. and I don't have any money, and this minimum wage job that I'm working is not going to cut it. I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
And I had always like seen dancing and stripping and all of that stuff is like a really cool job. Like growing up in my teenage years, I also was a gymnast and a dancer growing up. So it literally just like translated for me. And
Wow.
when I moved out of my hometown and I started going to school, I was having such a hard time like connecting with any people. And I was totally shunned from like the whole sorority scene. I just like didn't fit in with that type of thing. And I needed to like find a group of people. So like oddly enough, I found that in the strip club. Like
Yeah.
I just decided to go audition one day, and that was literally that. Like I did not put that much thought into it. I just was like, I was working at like a nightclub at the time, not like a strip club, like a normal just like dance nightclub. Just hated it. And I was like, let me just like go dance. Like I miss dancing. I wasn't like in sports or anything anymore. And I literally just like Googled the closest strip club and pulled up. And that's how I started. And now I'm 25. So I've been dancing. I'm coming on my 7th year this year.
Wow.
So it's crazy. It's been a journey. That's how I got my start.
Curious like about a few things within that like mini version of your whole life. But
Yeah.
so why do you think that you felt like shunned or like you didn't fit into the certain thing? Was it like the way you dressed, the way you looked, like the you're just like your interest? And then also, why do you think you didn't have that stigma that a lot of people do have towards the industry? Was
Good
it the way
question.
your parents like raised you? Was it something else? Like kind of those sort of things.
That's a really, really good question. So I kind of want to go back to the parents and like kind of my upbringing just
Yeah.
slightly. This definitely wasn't a job that was like, my parents were like, yeah, we're just like cool and fine with this. It's been a whole journey with that, where it's just kind of been a totally decision I just jumped into myself,
Mhm.
actually pretty afraid of like what my family thought. And then, you asked something right before that
Yeah,
I
it was
wanted to
why
touch
did you feel
on.
like you didn't fit in?
Oh, right. So when I was in college when I moved out of my hometown, and I tried to go rush and do the sorority rush my freshman year with my roommate. So excited. And, you usually have a weekend before you go rush. So I've always been a little slut. I've always been like a little freaky. I always want to go have fun. So I went out to a party that first weekend, as one does when they just moved to college.
Yeah.
And I kissed one guy, and someone took a picture of it and sent it around to the whole, like,
Why?
I don't know. It was the most bizarre thing. Like, it went around on Snapchat. People got a hold of it, and it turned into like a really big deal that I was like kissing this frat boy. And so when I went to Rush, like, no joke, after the first day that I went, pretty much every single house had dropped me. They do this like weird process where you have to like walk in and like interview with all of these houses. And before I'd even go in, like all of these people knew who I was. And it was so weird, just
That's
like
so weird.
moving to this area from out of my hometown and being like, I don't know any of you people, but you all know me. So it it wasn't anything I did wrong, because I never
No.
thought like, oh, it was wrong for me to do that. But to all the girls in the Pan-Hellenic community, they were just like, oh, that we can't be having this
Such a
here.
rebel.
Yeah. So I remember I just went home for the weekend. I was so devastated, because that was like, I was on the cheer team and stuff in high school. That was going to be my new like group of girls. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'm so thankful that like that didn't work out, because I think like I would have developed more stigma just like at that young age with your brain, and like you're around like a group of girls, and sororities are like notoriously very judgmental. And I don't know. I did not have a lot of friends who were in sororities that like enjoyed it, So I don't know. And to not develop that stigma, I think it was in me for a while. Like I think I call it like internalized horophobia. I think I did have a little bit of it for a while and not even realizing it, because I did kind of like, I didn't think much about dancing. I did know I was a sex worker. I was like, that's cool. I can set my own boundaries. But I at the beginning of dancing had a little bit of judgment towards girls who would be like doing extras and things like that. I've completely changed my thinking in that regard. And I've definitely grown up and kind of learned about, you know, how actually unsafe it is to be a working girl outside of the club independently. Unsafe, I think I said. And so I did have a little bit of stigma, like in the weird hierarchy way.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like something I've had to just kind of live through and like go through. Kind of a long intro there, but yeah. I think
No, no.
it would be unfair to say I didn't have any stigma going into it.
We all do. Like there
hmm
was definitely part of me that because like I told you I'd bring it up again. But when I started, I was a sugar baby, and I consider
hmm
that part of the industry because it's prostitution. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, and so I started there, and I actually had stigma even within that community of people who were doing it, because like I wasn't with like the super old guys. So I was like, "Oh, I'm better than like the ones that are like with these old men." I don't know
Right.
why. And then like I was like, "Oh, well, I'm not doing like X, Y, and Z, so like I'm better than the ones that are doing that." I don't know
Mhm.
why I like thought that, because it's all the same thing.
No, I
Um,
totally understand that. It's just like that
yeah,
you're trying to make yourself feel better. It actually has
yes,
nothing to do with anyone else. And it's
yeah,
just like the type of thing you have to it's ignorance. Like it really is at the end of the day. And I just had to like look that in the face and be a little bit ashamed and be like, I am projecting, you know?
yes. I was
Yeah.
projecting my own insecurities around doing what I wanted to do, but I didn't want other people to know I was doing.
Yes, and there's no shame in wanting to do and enjoying our job, which
Yeah,
was something that was hard for me for a while. Like, why do I enjoy being a slut? I love
yes,
it. Like, I
I
love
love
it,
it
you
too.
know?
And kind of how you mentioned too, like when you went into college, you wanted to be like slutty. You wanted to like explore like the sexy side of things and like flirt and date and do whatever and kiss people. And I've always been like that too. In high school, I was like a big flirt. Still to this day, like I'm married, I'm still a big flirt. She knows it. And like it's just like part of who I am. So I think, okay, wait. I was gonna say I bring up. Oh yeah, okay. So there was that when I started as a sugar baby, and then I wanted to bring up dancing. So with doing sugar baby work, I felt like it wasn't right for me. And I think,
hmm
the stigma and just like not feeling right, it wasn't right for me. But I still was like, I need to find my way into this world. Like that, it felt right
Yeah.
to me to be in the world, but just not in that way. So then I wanted to dance, and I was a cheerleader as well.
Hey, the
And I was
pipeline
like,
is so
I want
real.
to dance. So me and my sister got a stripper pole. We put it in our living room and we tried, and we are the weakest people of all time. And we're like, this is so hard. I can't
Right.
do it. And then finally I found OnlyFans. But I finally found my place. But that's funny. Okay, so I want to go. So we kind of dived into your past and like and all of that. I want to talk about like the dating side of things when it comes to this industry, because you have a partner now. How was the dating scene once you already became into the industry? This is what you do. How was dating for you, and finding, somebody that understood you and your job?
That is another great question that I love talking about this because I get to talk about my partner. But also, I guess not found out is the right word, but I just like really with the experimentation and the going through college and dating men, that's how I figured out I didn't like men either.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of dancing, I thought I was bi. And I like, like I said, I did kiss a guy like at the beginning of college and whatnot. And that was weird because that man I ended up kind of dating throughout college. And looking back, it was like one of those things that we've all been through where the person that you're talking to doesn't want to commit, but you've been with them for like 2 years,
Oh,
they've met your family,
oh my
they've
gosh.
been on vacations, but they're not your boyfriend. And that was kind of my first experience with dating someone who was like ashamed of me and my job. And I didn't really realize that at the time because I thought it was something I was doing, or, he was a frat boy. So all of that stuff. And it really was at the end of the day that it bothered him, like one of two things: that I was a stripper and I was dancing on other men and happy to be there.
Mhm.
And I also was like into girls. So that was weird. After that, I completely stopped dating and I kind of just focused on my bag. I was really starting to realize, like, I don't think I like men at all. Like, I think I like their money and I think I like, like working with them
Yeah.
and, when they have a function, like, that's cool. But like, they don't function. We don't function together. Like, I've never had a man like make me come. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, so, I stopped dating for a long time. I didn't really swear it off. I just kind of was like, I'm not going to search. I'm not going to be on the apps. I also was in this time, I was in a polyamorous relationship for a few months.
With this same guy? Or no, this was after?
This was after. So things were done with him and I met a polyamorous couple. That was very like short-lived. Found out it through that I'm definitely not into men because I was dating like a guy and a girl couple. So that was really like an event that showed me like, oh my God, like, girl, hello,
Yeah.
And I was at the club. This was about 2.5 years ago. And in walks Venus. And I'm working. I've already been there for a couple years. And she came in with a group of friends to audition. And I just remember being like, oh my gosh, like, that girl is so cute and like tatted and her short hair and like fit, just like super, super pretty and like super sweet. We kind of became friends. And probably 6 months or so went by because I didn't want to be like, and I'm sure you understand, like, it's hard when you have a crush on somebody and you're like, I don't know if you're queer or I don't know if, like,
Yeah.
and I also didn't want to make the environment uncomfortable by being
Were you
like
friends at
flirty.
that point though? Like, were you okay?
Yeah, so we were friendly and we had like actually, I was friends with kind of some of her friends too that she had come into the club with. So we had like gone out and gotten food a few times and like gone out and partied before, but it had never really like gone beyond that. And one of our friends, like in this group, has like, I love her to death, but she has the biggest mouth ever. So I know if I tell her anything, like, it's going to get around to all of this like group of girls. So I told her that I thought Venus was really cute and is she queer? Is this going to make her uncomfortable? And my friend, her name's Ange, shout out Ange. She ended up, it got back to Venus and that kind of like gave me the green light to be a little bit more flirty because she ended up telling Ange that she thought I was cute too. And literally the rest is history. We went to a drag show and we had like our first kiss on my birthday at a drag show.
Aww.
And that was over 2 years ago now. And we live together and it's very nice dating somebody who understands this industry too.
Yeah. I feel like that's like you got lucky that she also does the exact same job, so you completely understand it. It's not just someone that's like, oh, I get it, but I don't actually get it because I'm not there.
Right. No, she does get it. And like it felt like a literal movie, dude. Like just being at work and then this like girl just walking into the dressing room and me just being like,
You're like
like,
mesmerized. You're like, ah.
literally. And I just like, I would try so hard to be like friends with her. I'd be like, oh, do you want to go to the gym together? Or like, random little things. And then finally I asked her to go to a drag show and that was it.
That's amazing. What? So
Yeah.
do you two work together, or do you try to like do you work at different clubs now? Like, how does that relationship work? How do you have separation from work and your personal life now?
Yes, that's a definitely it's hard. It's hard until you have a system in place and then you really are like we have to make sure we're like respecting this system because we work together at the club. We also have our joint OF account that we do. And then we post vlogs and stuff together a lot. So at first when we started doing this, we started out with our OF account together. And it got hard for a second. We actually like had a moment where we were like, oh my God, like this is getting to be too much pressure, too much like tension. Like we see each other and we're just like, this is a relationship. This isn't like
Yeah.
a work thing, we completely pulled back from social media about a year ago for a few months, just to like really focus on our relationship and like just being happy to see each other instead of like, oh, I'm seeing you and now we have to go turn on a camera, you know?
Yeah. Or like turning
And
every kind of intimate moment with your partner also into content. Like,
yes,
you know, that could be
yeah,
hard.
we try really hard not to do that. And so when it comes to working in the club, we get to go in like whenever we want. We don't have a set schedule. So some nights it'll be like, oh, we're both going to go in together. And then one of us will be like, like, I don't really want to go in. I kind of just want to have like an alone night. And one of us will go into work, the other one will watch the dogs, and then we'll kind of just like switch off. I would say it's more common that we do that just because I just moved out of an apartment and into a house, and I get so nervous, like
Yeah.
leaving the house alone. So I feel like we get like that little like alone time and like kind of a break once one of us goes to work. But I'm only in the club like probably 2-3 times a week max now. So we spend a lot of time together. I do
Yeah.
not get sick of her though. Like I really don't. Because we
Yeah.
can just be silent. Like we can be around each other and just be like scrolling on our phones or like doing 2 separate activities. But it's just nice to like have that body double. Hi,
Yeah.
Raisin.
There's Raisin. He's
Hi,
decided to join
cutie.
us. Are you sitting
He's
now?
so good.
Oh, he was bad for a second. I don't know if you saw me being distracted. I was trying to push
No.
him off me. Now he's
He's
being
a
good.
business professional, I can tell.
Yes. um yes. Yeah, so I want to kind of go into that again or like finish that off with
Yeah.
it's it's funny because I think like even people outside of this industry when they work from home like and their partner works from home it can kind of be a lot when you don't have that alone time, so it is kind of nice to have that alone time, but like you said I think especially with girls we don't really get sick of each other as much.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I
it is
think
still
it's
good to have that
true.
time.
I think I would get really bugged with a man just because like you don't get it like they don't get it the same like just like how we kind of go through like a lot of mood swings throughout the day and stuff and
Yeah.
like I Venus is really awesome in the way that like she is not judgmental when she's like witnessing me being like cuz I'm definitely the more like emotional one. And so she's very much like I'll give you space if you need it or we can talk through it if you need it but like let me know like it's not nothing is pushed upon me so it's just
Yeah.
like she is a freaking angel. Like I don't know how I got so lucky. It's so like I am just so lucky.
Both deserve it. You're
Yeah,
like meant for each other.
that's really sweet. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
How do you go about relationships and your clients and stuff? I know for me, I try to be like open that I'm married, but I also like don't
Mhm.
really want to talk about it because I don't want it to take away from like the fantasy of it. So I kind of have like
Yeah,
this like a delicate balance act that I'm doing. What do you do when it comes to that?
I do something pretty similar. With customers in the club, I get a little bit more nervous. Just for safety reasons.
Yeah.
I'm not so much like, oh, like that's my girlfriend over there, like
Yeah.
we're gay, and just because I don't know, especially in today's like climate, how people are gonna act with that. Um, I have had some men be weird, like, and they'll tell like my other coworkers, like, oh, like I'm just not into like a lesbian working at the strip club or things like that. And so at the club, I'm a little bit more little low key. If I meet like a queer couple, I'm like, that's my girlfriend. Let's go get a room together, like, and I'm
Yeah.
way more open. Online, though, I feel a little bit more safe. I can be like,
Yeah.
this is my girlfriend, Plus I've made it so like part of my TikToks and my YouTube and stuff that I think it would be hard for me to be like, no, it's just an act. you know.
Yeah. I go about it where it's like I have videos online with us and I don't hide our relationship, but at the same time, I don't try to broadcast it, I guess. Or like
Yeah.
even talk about it. A lot of the times what I say, and for like anyone who does want to keep their relationship private, I just say, "Oh, I don't talk about like my personal life." So,
Yeah.
sometimes that's what I do. It just depends, honestly. If I know someone long enough, I'm like, "All right, fine."
Exactly. It's like totally case by case. I feel
Yeah.
like client by client and like just the vibes they're giving. Like if they're being weird, I'm not going to be like, I guess I'm gonna be withholding more information if they're
Yeah.
being freaky creepers,
Yeah. Okay, I want to dive a little bit into, because you mentioned that you started in the club, but you also had your couples OnlyFans and you do OnlyFans and some Fansly. What kind of pivoted you into that, and like how did you find it? And just a little bit more about that side of things, the
Yeah,
online side of
so
things.
totally. I just started doing TikTok. It's been a while now. I feel like 4 or 5 years ago now, and things started doing well over there. At the time I was travel dancing because it was during COVID. I was just trying to find clubs that were open.
Mhm.
And so wait, I just totally blanked on your question.
Oh, I was basically wondering how you not pivoted,
Oh,
but how you
pivoted.
added the online side of things to your business.
Right. Yeah, so my TikTok started gaining traction and I just was like, let me just make like some more money on this. I didn't
Yeah.
have any money really coming in from the clubs during COVID because it was so hard to work.
Yeah.
So I actually started over on Night Flirt. I don't know if you've heard of Night Flirt.
Yeah.
Awesome, freaking awesome platform. Literally saved me during COVID. I started over there first because one of my friends was over there, and I really liked that you could like chat with them and get paid for it.
Mhm.
And OnlyFans doesn't have that, So
Yeah.
I just was like, let me just try this out. Did that for a few months. Clubs reopened. I actually around this time took about a year off of social media because I was really struggling with my depression, and I was like, I need to figure some things out before I'm posting online and embarrassing myself, Um,
Oh, I do that
and-
often. I go through my waves and then I post all about it.
no, I feel that or feeling like I was just having problem with depressions and mania, and I was trying different medicine for this, and I honestly felt like it made me worse. Like it put me in a more of a weird place. So I had to just figure things out.
Regroup. Yeah.
Yeah. When I came back to social media, one of my TikToks had done really well, and I ended up having like 20K followers. And so I was like, looking back, I felt like that was like so crazy. I know now, like
That
it's
is
like,
crazy. Like
yeah,
out of nowhere, like that's so many people. If you put that in a room, I feel like that's the thing that we forget. It's like if you put that in a room, you'd be like, why are you all following me?
no, it's crazy, right? Yeah, it's so many
Yeah.
people, and it was literally just because and this one, this video, I am glad a little bit that I did embarrass myself a little bit because this is the one that popped off. But I was in San Francisco, I was travel dancing, and I was out drinking with a friend, and we're just out doing our thing. I'm in like my little cute pants, whatever. And we'd had a few drinks, and there were literally, and this is not something maybe I would do maybe now that I think about it, I might do this today too, but I don't know. To each their own. There were a bunch of Jesus protesters or like pro Jesus people
Yeah.
talking about like very aggressively like talking about what they were into. It wasn't just someone out trying to like, help people discover God. And so I decided to just set up my camera and twerk in the splits in front of the Jesus protesters. And I posted that on TikTok, and that's what blew up. So from that, I was like, okay, people are staring at my butt right now. Like, let me monetize on this shit.
Smart.
So I literally just opened up an OnlyFans account, and that was that. Like it always has been about money for me.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna make more money, I can pivot and do this too, and make some more money in my account every month. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
is awesome. That is so smart, because sometimes people forget, like they miss, like something goes viral or whatever, and then they miss a way to like push people
Yes.
into a monetization opportunity. So that's
Yeah.
really smart that you like even thought like, okay, this is the moment.
I think I at the time was just like I was getting ready to graduate school, and I really was realizing like I don't think I want to go into my major. Well, I was a hospitality management major, so I guess I am kind of in my major still, being in
Yeah,
the club.
I think so.
But I really didn't want to work in events. I really wanted going into school. I wanted to do event planning, and I decided I hated it when I got out of school.
But
And so
you
I
did
was like,
graduate.
I did graduate. Yeah, I graduated in I think either 22 or 23. I can't remember. But I got my bachelor's. I kind of just wanted to say I could do it, you know? because the last year I was in college, I was seriously like, I should not be here. Like, I should be putting all of my time into content creation and um, working and doing things like that. I think that last year was actually the year that we met. It might have been.
Yeah.
And I started watching your videos and stuff, and I was like, okay, like, I want to get serious about this. And I think it was just like, I don't want to be stuck in an office. Like,
Yeah.
just motivated me.
You finish school though, because I think that's like another thing that like just people think that you can't be educated and do sex
Right.
work. And I mean, even if you didn't, like whatever, if you didn't go to school, but you can still be like educated. I don't know.
And like, I think education means something so different
Yeah.
nowadays. Like, I don't think college at all is necessary
No.
for success. I think like there are a lot of people who benefit a lot from college, but like, I think it's something I could have maybe done without. But like, that was something I grew up with. Like, you're going to go to school, like, you're going to get a normal job, and like, you're
Yeah.
going to do great in high school. Like, I was a really good student in high school. Like, I was an A and B student. I was in all the AP classes. Like, I actually graduated a little bit early and started taking college classes. Like, actually, dancers and OnlyFans girls and sugar babies and like escorts are some of the smartest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
You
There's a lot
know,
of psychology that goes into it. There's
yes.
like so many different things. You have to be a businesswoman. You have to like know how to, figure out how to do your taxes. You have to do all these
Yeah.
different versions of like a business. But yeah, it's crazy. Oh, I was gonna also ask you. Oh shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. Oh
I
yeah,
hate when
what?
that happens.
I got it though. What did you want to be when you were in high school and when you were younger? What was like the dream for you back then?
Oh my gosh. So this is super exciting because I've actually started to get back into this a little bit. When I was growing up, this is all I wanted to be. I wanted to just be a horseback rider or like be dealing with horses. When I was really young, I would tell my parents I wanted to be a T-Rex when I grew up. So like I always had like a really strange like, idea of what I wanted to do, but I am totally a horse girl. I have always loved horses. So my dream growing up was to ride professionally. And I had a couple of really bad falls when I was in high school, and I was also in cheer, and there was just a lot going on. Plus horses are so expensive. I had to kind of give it up for a few years when I went to college, and I kind of had to make that decision. Like I didn't quite grow up with like crazy horse money, and to be in that industry and be successful, you need to be very wealthy. So I was like, let me go make the money first and then come back to this.
Yeah.
So this last year, actually, I started riding again. So I've been leasing a horse for the past few months and getting
What?
back out there. Yeah. So I don't want to be a professional anymore. I do want to just like go enjoy it, but I do think one day I want to do something involving horses, or rescue animals. I love animals. It's always been like I want to do something with animals. But I don't think I could do like vet school, or I'm not strong enough for that. I know that for a fact. And yeah, so that was my dream. I was like, I'm
That
going
is
to be.
the most random dream. I did not expect that at all. Like, that is not, I haven't even heard anyone say they wanted to do that
I was
professionally
like, I
ever.
want to be a cowboy. I want to grow up and be a cowboy. Like, that's all I want to do. And I was really into like jumping, and it's called show jumping. But yeah, again, it's like a grand to go like
Yeah,
and do a show and stuff.
it's insane.
And
Yeah.
it's insane. And so just for like a normal like family, we were just like, like,
Yeah.
this isn't going to work. In order
You
to
had
make
big
like,
dreams. Big
yes,
dreams.
in order to make any money doing horse stuff, you have to start with more money. So it's
Mhm.
like, it's a future dream, but yeah, for now, I'm just going to go
Now
ride a
it's
few
kind of like a
countries.
hobby though, and like you can actually enjoy it and have fun with it. That brings me kind of into what I was gonna ask you is like what two things, but I'll
Mhm.
get to you can do one at a time. What type of things do you enjoy like outside of work, and what do you do outside? Like who are you outside of just like, work stuff? And then also what do you like about the industry? Why do you stay in it for, as long as you have?
Yeah. So outside of the club, I go riding a couple times a week. Also, I'm just trying to I'm trying to learn how to be an adult right now, honestly.
Same.
Yeah,
I feel like I should know by now, but I'm like, because I'm 30. Oh my God. I still am learning every single day.
yes. And you know what? That makes me feel better too, because I'm like, am I supposed to just know at a certain point, everything I need to do? But even just things like moving from an apartment to a house, that's a little bit of a learning curve. And
That's huge.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out more of a personal sense of style for myself right now. I just have a couple of random personal goals I'm kind of working on outside of the club.
Yeah.
The planners I've been doing, I am just a workaholic, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I have some pets too. So my little dogs we talked about earlier. I'll be outside with them. We are so close to the beach over where I'm at, so I like to be outside a lot
Yeah.
because it's like a dungeon in the club,
Yeah.
like a cave.
Well, they keep it super dark and it's always nighttime. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I need sunlight. I like to be outdoors. I
Honestly,
love to
sometimes
watch
I feel like that
TV.
even just making online content, because I mean I am a crazy naked lady, so I'm probably
Hmm.
the naked neighbor, and I leave the
Yeah.
windows open a lot of the time, but sometimes when I'm doing something a little crazy, then I'll close the windows, and then I feel like I'm in a dungeon and I'm like, ah.
And you're just I feel closed in this crazy dom dungeon right
Yeah.
now.
Daisy's
Yeah.
always you need to close the windows because my office is the first room in the house.
Right.
So the window's just facing the street and I always have it open. She's like, you're literally wearing a dildo, walking around butt
Right.
ass naked. You need to close the window.
But you're that's how I get the good natural lighting.
Because I love natural lighting.
Yeah. Also, congrats on your new home. That's so
Thank you.
exciting.
Oh
That's
my
so
God, it's
cool.
stressful as hell. Honestly, I just have to keep focused because I feel like wait, here's an adulting thing, and I haven't even said this anywhere. Basically, I poured everything I have into a house. I think most people do. Everything
Yeah.
you have, you have the down payment. We had to redo the whole house. I put everything I have into it. So now I'm at the point where I feel broke again because I
Yeah.
don't have anything, and I'm have to build back up my savings, and it's so stressful because I now have a mortgage as well, so it just adulting and
Right.
trying to be okay, it's okay, it will build again. Right now
Yeah.
I'm in that phase of this is a lot.
That's the phase I'm headed towards because I'm trying to buy a house this year. So I'm I am going to be right there with you soon because, first of all, my taxes just came out.
And
Then,
taxes, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
it's rough out here. It is hard to be a hoe. We are not,
Yeah.
it's crazy when people think we don't pay taxes either. I'm just
Yeah, that's wild. I mean,
it's
we have to,
crazy.
or else how would we be able to get a house or do things or whatever. Yeah, we have to.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
I think you'd asked, what was the second question you
Oh
had
yeah,
asked?
it was what did you like about the industry and why do you stay in it? That
Oh,
was it.
yeah. So there's a lot of reasons. I think it's kind of similar for a lot of people. I love the freedom in schedules.
Mhm.
Like I said, I do struggle with depression. So there are some days where it's I can't quite do a 9 to 5 where it's you're going to be there all week. That's never really quite worked out for me.
Mhm.
Um, I also just deep down inside and on the surface and everywhere, I am slutty. I like to be doing fun things. I love to dance. I love to just do fun, active things
Mhm.
and getting to make money from also being able to dance and be kind of partying. I am sober in the club. I do smoke a little weed, but I'm not drinking alcohol.
Mhm.
So kind of being in that fun environment, it's a good time. And then I have weird productive hours. So when that productivity hits, the fact that I can go into a job at 9, 10 p.m. at night and have a whole shift, it just works really well with my brain. Um, Plus it's just I don't think there's another industry like it. We get to see this side of people that's so sometimes disturbing, but also really interesting. And
And really raw. It's real.
yeah. It's no different to me than being a type of therapist and you're just also in heels and even with OnlyFans, they kind of therapize with
Mhm.
you.
I'm yes, 1,000%. That's what I was saying
And I
about the
like the money.
psychology side of things. I feel like
Mm.
you have to know how to handle that and so much more. And like people don't realize that. They think it's just shaking my booty and my tits
Literally.
everywhere, and I'm like, no. Some people like want to have a deep conversation.
Yes.
And it gets deep.
There are so many girls at my club actually that are like psych majors, or like, you know, they want to be in like sex therapy or things like that. And they will be like, they could literally give you a therapy session like in
Yes.
that ice box, like, or we call them ice boxes at my club. They're like private rooms.
Okay.
But yeah. And I'm not a therapist or a licensed one, but like, yeah, I feel like I'm definitely like kind of, there are so many men who will like come out to me in the club, or they'll be like, I cannot cry like unless I'm here and like hidden in this little corner where no one can see, you know, like things like that people don't think of. Like, not everyone is going there just to kind of get off, you know?
Yeah. I think
A
it's
lot of them are
honestly
lonely.
like a place like where they can be themselves, whether that is like something like sexual and like wild and crazy, or
Yeah.
to like express emotion in a different way that they typically don't.
Yeah. We don't have like a lot of forms of like escapism anymore that are like not just kind of like sitting down in front of a screen, or like, it's nice for people who haven't been able to connect with somebody else in a long time to be able to come in and just like have it be a transactional thing instead of just like, I have to make friends or like be social. Like, no, like we are there. That's what we're there for. Like you pay us to talk to you. It's fun. I love talking to my clients and stuff. Like if they're not like being creepy or rude, like I really do enjoy like talking to people and getting to know people and hearing what they have to say.
Personally, for at least for my page on OnlyFans, like the way I make the most money is when I am talking and in the messages and communicating and building relationships. And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people who do OnlyFans, because I mean it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. And it's literally the only way that like works for me. And so I've always said that whenever I try to mentor people, because I know it's like everyone doesn't want to do that part. But I mean, you can see it like in like how you're saying in the club. I'm sure when you're more like communicative with you can get them to pay and get them into the room and it's like it shows everywhere, even in sales. It's like you have to talk and connect. That's just what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really the same thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. Okay. I something else popped in my head. I also bounce around all over the place. So.
So do I. It's okay.
Okay. So you said in your like things that you like to do and like hobbies outside of this, you mentioned that you are trying to find your like personal style. I have been sewing, and I am trying to find like, because I like black. I just wear black a lot. But I'm trying to find ways to wear color and texture more, and then also to like have my own personal style, because I'm like designing my own shit. I don't know why.
Cool.
But I wanted to tell you that when you mentioned that you were trying to find your personal style. And like, me too.
It's hard.
Here's another thing that I just thought of. I find, like how you're saying, you didn't feel like you connected with the sorority girls and all that. And every time I talk to people, I'm like, oh my God, like we have this in common. We have this in common. And it's like the girls who do this, I feel like we have so much in common in certain aspects of our lives, because I don't know. Every single time I talk to them, I'm like, oh, I have that in common too. I feel that way too, or like whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to dive into that part of things and like community, because you were saying even when you were in college, you were trying to find your community, your people. And I think that helps. Well, one, we're literally built to be in communities. Like we can't survive without communities. But do you think that has benefited you, like even with your online community that you built on TikTok and the girls that you meet in the club? Like how does that kind of shape how you run your business?
That's a good point. I really, really have my audience in mind when I'm doing like really anything. And that's something I'm trying to like get a little bit out of my head with, and kind of like doing what I want to do instead of like, let me like really think of like what everyone else is going to think about this. I also just think during this time, it is so important, like not even for like a business reason, but just to like know that we have community as sex workers, as, queer people, as women. Like it's just really important for living purposes, to be connecting with that community. And I think it's also gotten me opportunities and things like that. Like when I'm able to try and kind of connect with people instead of not replying to comments or not trying to like occasionally keep an eye on like what people are actually saying, like it keeps me from being out of touch also, because there have been times like I don't live a normal life in a normal job, and sometimes like I can say things or phrase things away, especially involving money, where it's like, girl, you can be grateful, like instead of like, you know, complaining. So they help keep me in check too, which I really appreciate. Yeah, I love my community and the LGBTQ community and everything as a whole too. Like
You
it's
seem
just
really good
so
about
nice.
getting out of your bubble and like meeting people, especially because how we met. You drove like 2 hours to go to an event, right?
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I came up to LA. Yeah, it was which was the first event? It might have been the slushy one, or I think so, right? That was like our first official meet. It was one of the slushy things. I think I also just honestly it was like it was you. Like I had been watching your videos and it's like and following your methods and things like that. And I was just like, I really want to connect with this girl.
You
Like
came for me?
I pretty much, I mean, for the opportunity too, but because I was like, I have this like relationship with this person online. Like we do this same industry. You're also gay. Like we're the same person, different font, you know?
Yes.
So if
One black,
I
one pink.
Exactly. And I also don't mind driving. I love driving and listening to a little podcast or something. So, and plus I miss and love LA. I won't say like what city I'm in now, but I am from LA originally. Anytime for me to get up there, like I'm there, no worries. But at the bottom line, yeah, I think it was like this is a great opportunity, and this is like I feel like I've manifested like meeting this person, and even this like talking to you now, I'm like I feel like this was like a long like manifestation. Yeah.
It means a lot to me. I did not know that. I like am so in awe of you, and like so when I watch you, I feel like the same way, and when I get to connect with you, I feel that same way. But that's amazing. I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's really awesome because sometimes it's hard to get out of our bubbles, especially well, at least for me, maybe because you're in the club and you're actually like interacting with people, you know, hands on, like more real. For me, I'm like a little bit. I seem like I'm extroverted, but I'm actually like slightly introverted. So for me, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to get out and like do things in person. So I always think that that's really awesome, and I see. Like I feel like a lot of girls who do the online version of it and they're not doing stuff in person, it might be that same reason. Like, oh, like I wanted to be a stripper, but I'm like really shy, or like you know,
Yeah.
that sort of feeling. So I just like I'm in awe that you like drove 2 hours to like go to an event and like do something out of your comfort zone where you didn't even know anybody. So I think that's really
So
cool.
scared. I was so nervous a lot. Like I was sweating. Like I was so nervous just because I'm a little bit awkward. Like, and that's something like I like about myself. Like I'm very ADHD. Like I walking into a group of people I don't know, that part doesn't scare me. It's just like, am I gonna like how am I gonna come across? You know, like
Yeah.
I want to come across good to these people who like I've been like taking their advice, and you know I'm wanting to kind of be around this group of people and not come across as like too quiet or too overtaking the conversation.
No, I
Because
think
I
you're
like to
awesome.
yap. Thank
I,
you.
I like to yap too, but I also think sometimes I yap because I'm uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't know what I
Yeah.
do. I'm weird. Um,
But I remember like getting to the content house and stuff and like having such a blast. Like I was so scared just because I was like, I've been to content houses in the past. I think I remember even telling you this. Like,
yeah.
this is unlike any content house I've been to actually ever. Like, this is no drama. Like, this is just like, we're just here taking pictures. There's no creepy dudes. Like, it was such a vibe, and I remember like having an actual great time the whole time I was there, which sometimes like when I'm shooting content you gotta kind of fake it, you don't actually want to be there, you know. But I didn't feel that way, and I just left. I remember calling Venus and being like, that was so fun, like that, like I had such a blast.
I know I had so much fun that day too. That was
Yeah.
amazing. I've been talking about this because I'm actually gonna host in a couple weeks just like a virtual get together. So you should come too. Just
I'm
to
down. Yeah.
build community again, because I feel like during that time I had so much fun getting to know people and like connecting.
Yeah.
And then like the last 6 months I haven't really done that. So I've been I want to bring the community together. So anyways, you should come.
Yeah, I'm down. It's been
Yeah,
a
it's just like
weird
a
few
virtual
months.
thing where we'll all get on and kind of like share who we are, what we do, like maybe what areas we're in if we're comfortable. That way, if you wanted to connect with somebody and like make videos together or do whatever, like we shot that try on video together.
That was so fun.
Yeah,
that was so cute.
So okay, let's move into, because there's so much still that I wanted to cover, but I know we're like getting
I got
deep
time.
into
You're
it.
good.
Okay, so what does your future look like in your like eyes? What do you want to see for yourself? What do you want to do? I know you said you're definitely gonna do more like riding horses. You have this planner coming out. We talk about that. Like, is there like work stuff that you want to do in your future? Is there other stuff that you want to do in your future? What does your future look like for you?
I have so many goals. It's actually like I need to chill a little bit, but
Me
I
too.
eventually I write them down and I eventually
Yeah.
get to them. So like we just got to put pen to paper, you know?
Mhm.
That's why I made these planners actually, because I think it's really important to track and manifest with pen and paper. I really like I think digitally is great too, but I think just something about writing it down does something. I don't know what it is. So I really want to keep working on the planners. I work on them with my friend Lucy in the Sky with Dollars. That's her Instagram. She does more of like the graphic design side of things because I have no idea about that type of thing. I'm doing more of like the art and the marketing or finding the artists because yeah, I can't draw. But we're not using AI art or any of that. We are finding actual artists, sex worker artists, to help design them. And so I want to keep working on those. I want to make one for the full service girlies, my cam girlies, and then like just I never know what word to use because I don't want to say normal, but like other people other than sex working people, like just independent contractors, you know.
Independent contractor, yeah.
Yeah, like bartenders and people who need tips. Like I want to make like specific trackers and planners and things for that. And then I'm working on buying a house right now. I currently rent the house that we're in, but we might buy this house. The owners might sell it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I know. So in the
And that'd
next
be
few
so
months,
great for not having to move again.
because we just moved, so I would love not to have to move out because I have so much shit. But so I'm gonna try and do that. I'm like crossing my fingers, manifesting, really hoping. So that's a goal for this year.
Yeah.
I was travel dancing. Like I wanted to travel dance a lot this year, and we flew to Texas like a month ago and got all held up because of all the plane crashes and things happening, and it scared the shit out of me. It scared me. So I'm taking a little tiny break from that just to kind of clear the air, literally. You know, so everything's good. But random, but my little brother is actually a pilot. So he's like, you're good, like you're fine. Like it's actually normal for this amount of accidents to be happening. We just don't hear about them. So that made me feel a little bit better for anyone who's like worried about that stuff right now because it is scary.
I was worried about it and I had a trip planned in February and I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. But then I went on the trip, came back.
And you made it and you're here and I'm so happy. Yeah, one of our planes got like delayed on the way home too. And we got like something was up with the maintenance. Yeah. And so I was like, I am not getting on a plane that just had like a maintenance problem. Like I'm not doing that. I forgot to mention this earlier. I love to smoke weed. It's one of my favorite things. It's just, you know, a great end of the day little activity. And it's just kind of, that's my vibe. I want to do something with that. I don't know what, but I want to do something in the cannabis industry eventually. So I kind of just been researching that. And that's that for me because I think that's enough goals.
You're like, I have this long list. I need to stop right here.
Yeah. And then obviously just, you know, advancing the OF stuff and just continuing to figure out all the techniques and all the things. And yeah.
I worked at MedMen, which is like, do you know it?
Yes. That's so funny.
I worked there for like 6 months, not at the store, at the office, but I learned a lot about weed.
That's that's cool. I should look into doing something like that.
All right, I'm back again with a reminder to definitely check out Supercreator, see if it is a tool that will help you in your business. They do have a platform that you just download to your computer and your laptop, and you can use it there. That's how I normally use it. But they also do have an app where you can kind of just see your stats all in one place, which is helpful when you need to know, you know, what's up, what's down, how things are doing on your platform, where you need to put your focus. They do have an app for that. Like I mentioned before, there are a lot of AI tools that help you understand your customers and also manage how you want to send content out to them. So it is a very, very helpful tool and completely replaces management. You do not need it. Check out Supercreator. The links are all down below. And again, a thank you to Supercreator for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. Okay, what's helped you? What's been the best, I guess, I don't want to say advice because I feel like, I don't know, maybe it is advice. But like, what's helped you in your journey? What do you think if someone was just starting and wanted to either be a dancer or do social media, which you've been really successful in, or OnlyFans, or all, you know, what would you kind of tell them? What kind of things would you say helped you the most in your journey so far?
I think as far as the online stuff, and this just, I feel like this is always the advice I hear and then I give, is to just freaking post as much as you can, whatever you can. Even if you think people are going to think it's boring, like that's not going to be the case. Like it's just not. Like just post. That's my advice for online stuff. Don't be afraid of being a little cringe. If anyone's making fun of you for being cringe, like that is more cringe than you being cringe, you know? Anyone judging you for that is so lame. As far as dancing stuff, something that helped me the most, like I had to stop drinking. I had to completely stop drinking. When I was first in the club, that was my like mental lubricant, I guess, to not be afraid and not, you know, kind of just be working for hours and hours and hours because it's a party when you're drinking. The thing is, you don't stick to your boundaries, so your boundaries will end up getting violated. You leave uncomfortable. How are you going to get home, you know? And I just started like, I can't drink because I talk crazy. Like I just stop having any sort of like hustle. Like it's just a waste of time. So that's my best advice. I think that some girls can handle moderation, and that's like so cool. And I'm so envious of them. That's not me. And if like, you know, that's you as well getting into the club industry, I would just say don't even start drinking because I've seen some awful things happen to girls who are like way too under the influence. And the club has protections in place, but there's so much going on that things can happen. And I think it's case by case with each person. For me, I had to be completely sober. That was what helped me the most as far as alcohol and other fun substances. I had to completely cut that out. That was my best.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you have like, even in general, sometimes when you have like I don't know what to call it, but like you're doing something to like get away from reality.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to moderate, like you have to just balance what you're doing because you don't want, if you know that's your job, that's your work, you want to also still be able to work. So just being able to manage that. I stopped drinking for a month for a dry January, and now I like don't even want to drink. I don't know what it is.
That's kind of how I felt too. I really had a hard time for probably about a month and was just kind of like, I'm nervous, I'm scared to be social again. But like the thing was, I've always been like a social person without alcohol. So it's like I had to just kind of tap back into that. And it's awkward. It is awkward for a few weeks. But the thing is, like, you have to do things scared and you have to just like pick up the bootstraps and like get in there and do things scared, or it's like you're never really gonna advance in life. Putting myself
slow, do things scared, because like no matter what it is, like if you know, like you said, like posting the video that you think might be embarrassing or cringe or not entertaining, it's like post it anyways, even if you're scared. Hey, like if that's what you want to do, you know, if you want to do something, do the craziest, you know, scariest things that you need to do to get you there. because at the end of the day, you're going to be happy you did, rather than just sitting still waiting around that you wish you would have done things that scared you.
Exactly. And like if you go and you do something and you're scared and you still don't accomplish it, like you still feel good for even going,
Trying.
you know? And
So
like there
true.
were days where I'd be like, I want to have a drink and go into the club and like do all these things. And I'm like, okay, let me just go in for 2 hours, try to make like $100 or $200, and then I get to go home. And like just surrounding yourself and like making sure you're comfortable too if you're trying to stop drinking or stop other substances. Like that's important, because if you're having things that are making you uncomfortable, you're just going to want to immediately go back to drinking or drugs or whatever it is. And I get that. It took so many times of me being like, oh, I want to be sober, and then like going back into it for it to actually stick with me to the
Yeah.
water.
I obviously didn't do it for work, but just socially I was drinking a lot. And I feel like if we're not if you're not an addict, you should be able to stop and still have fun with your friends and still be able to do things. So I wanted to prove to myself I'm good and I
Yeah.
don't need it. And I'm so glad I did, because I was having a lot of anxiety and for no reason. And then you know what? Yesterday I drank wine and I had more than I had been, because like I said, I haven't been drinking since literally since January, really. Or
Yeah.
I mean, since December. I hadn't been drinking really. I had like a glass here or there of something, but I haven't drank. And yesterday was the most I drank since December. And I had so much anxiety going to sleep. I felt horrible. I had a stomach ache too, and that could have been from all the candy I ate. But I
I
had
get it.
wine, and so I ate a bunch of candy. And
Yeah.
then, like, I was just like not. And then I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to feel like that. Like, why would I
Yes.
drink that much if I didn't? I literally don't want to feel like that.
No, I so get that. And it's like it's cool too. Like I'm so jealous that you can like handle moderation too, or like have times where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a drink, and like that's awesome. But I totally feel that. I was like a boxed wine girly too when I was drinking, because I got sober pretty soon after turning 21. Like I didn't have like
Wow.
all of my, I think I was like 22 or 23 when I decided to completely stop. So I like had early party years, you know?
Yeah.
And I got it all out of my system. And then also just being in a club environment and starting my career in nightclubs too. Like I've seen the nastiest things from drunk people, especially like
Mm-hmm.
grown drunk men.
Yeah.
Like that it's just like, did I look like that? You know?
Yeah.
And I did probably, or worse, because I turn into a like the Tasmanian devil when I drink. It's actually so bad. That yeah, and then I would get so hungover too. Like sometimes I do miss it, especially wine. But yeah, it's just
No, you think you
it's
do,
not
and then like I said, I had it yesterday, and I'm like, why did I do that? I didn't
right.
need to do that.
Oh,
I feel like I'm definitely in like a different phase than I thought I ever would, because when I was like a teenager and stuff, I was like wild, crazy, da da da. I thought I'd always
yeah.
be like that, but no.
No, I literally I feel you. And now we're just like little grandmas, and it's so
Yes,
much
and I
fun.
love it that way. I
Yeah.
just want to like garden, like actually garden. I mean, I smoke weed too, but like garden. I
Yeah,
want to like make pottery and like do little crafts. That's what I want to do.
dude. The way I have like like air dry clay like drying on my table right now.
Yes.
I feel you.
All I want to do is like make little things and like lay in the sun. I don't know.
We
I'm
should do
definitely
that. Let's have a little art day at the park or something. Come in
down.
LA.
That'll
That
be
would be
so fun.
so fun.
Well, thank you for coming on to the podcast. And I will put all your links, but you could share anything else you want to share right now. Definitely
Okay.
go get the planner, everybody.
Yes, those were like such a labor of love. I'm not very computer tech savvy. Shout out to Lucy in the Sky with Dollars too for literally putting her whole booty into that project with me. Um, I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. C Gets Nakey. And if you're interested in more, I'm over on OnlyFans too, or Schmonleymans. I don't know what we're able to call it.
I don't know why this just happened, but I was sucking a dildo for a video and my throat like is now scratchy. And I'm like, how did this happen from a dildo? Anyways.
The way I have to do that after this for a custom, that is so funny.